Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And let me at the outset thank you for the leadership you've shown on this issue, and many others have been running and hiding. You've been out front, and I want to commend you for it. And General Alexander, let me, through you, thank all of the outstanding men and women that work for you, the tremendous job they've done. And I really have to disagree with my good friend, Mr. Chakowski. I don't think we can go by a day without seeing words like snooping, scandal, throwing out the NSA, and very seldom do you see the word patriotic. I mean, I don't know how many times we've seen the word scandal over the last 4 months. And to me, the only scandalous thing is the attacks that have been made upon you. So I just want you to bring that back to your people and tell them that there are those of us who stand with you and also defend your policies, not just them as individuals, but their policies and what they've tried to do and are trying to do. I think it's probably only a matter of time before we hear someone saying that foreign leaders have a constitutional right. That'll be the next debate we have. But in any event, I just want to, again, thank you for what you do. Mr. Inglis, you had said before the importance of timing as to whether or not the metadata is controlled by the company or by the NSA, and how there have been delays, or there could be delays as far as getting the information in time, because often it is a race against the clock. General Clapper, and one case that I have some personal knowledge of, with the Zazi case, if you could explain to us, and that again, that's just one incident. I know we keep talking about one here, one there, and maybe it doesn't sound like a lot, but that one incident could have resulted in hundreds, if not thousands, of deaths in the New York City subway system. How important was 215, Section 215? How important was that as far as timing, as far as ensuring that the dots are able to be connected in time to save that plot? And also, if you could discuss the extent of that plot and what could have happened if the plot had not been stopped.
Congressman King, first of all, on behalf not just of NSA, but the entire intelligence community, I want to thank you for your staunch support of the men and women of the intelligence community. Let me turn, though, to the real authorities on this case, and it does illustrate the need for time on this, to General Alexander or Chris Inglis.
Thank you, Director. Thank you.
So, Congressman King, I'll take a whack at that and let General Alexander kind of correct my my omissions. As you recall, in early September of 2009, while monitoring the activities of al-Qaeda terrorists in Pakistan, NSA noted contact from that individual to somebody in the United States who was ultimately identified as Zazi. We tipped that to the FBI. FBI ultimately determined the identity of this person. That's their authority, not ours. So we tipped that across. And then using the 215 authority, given that we now had reasonable articulable suspicion of a possible plot by al-Qaeda into the homeland, we were able to determine further connections in New York and elsewhere as the FBI tracked him as he made his way from Colorado to New York, where we knew that he, now in hindsight, intended to mount a plot which was described as the most significant terrorist plot since 9/11. The timeliness of that was not so much attendant to what we saw him doing at the time. We saw him on the move, making his way to New York City, but the fact that we didn't know what we didn't know. We didn't know what else he might have afoot, what other plots might be. Was his destination New York? Was he going to do something en route? Therefore, minutes counted as we helped the FBI focus their time and attention on those things that they should focus on, and perhaps rule out all those things where they could save resources and concentrate those precious few resources on the disruption of this plot. As you well know, they ultimately did disrupt this plot. At the end of the day, a terrorist event didn't happen, and it's yet another story that can't be written about NSA, not because it's secret, but because it never happened. That's really our job, is to prevent disaster.
If I might, Congressman King, make another point about the importance of Section 215. Oftentimes, the metric used to evaluate its value or worth is number of plots foiled. We had a recent case with the al-Qaeda and other threats in the Mideast, which occasioned the closure of 20 diplomatic facilities throughout the Mideast. And in the course of that, we discovered some number of selectors, I think 9 or so, that pointed to the United States. All those were checked out, and as it turned out, there was no domestic nexus to any plotting. So I would add to plots foiled as one metric, what I would call the peace of mind metric, when you can rule out a domestic nexus using this tool.
Yeah, I yield back, and again, I thank all of you for your service and all those that work for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. King. It appears the clocks are in working order now.